Yo, what's popping, Jimbos? This guide is going to be about Spiker. Many people have asked me in-game how to spike properly and efficiently, so I decided to make an extended guide on that. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the build and a brief explanation of how it works. 99% of your damage is going to be wastrels. They have a really short cast and recharge time. With the help of fast casting attribute, you will be able to cycle them one after another continuously. In order to deal damage, both of those hexes have to meet a certain requirement. That requirement is for the enemies not to cast any skills within duration of that hex. Most of the enemies that you'll be dealing with are melee, which makes the use of Visage really convenient. All of them get drained out of energy, making them unable to use their skills, and for your hexes to trigger their damage freely. Since you will be using wastrels almost constantly throughout the run, you will need some kind of energy support, because you will run out of it really quickly. That's why we bring Lisa's Aura. It increases your energy regen, allowing you to compensate for some of the energy loss from using your skill so often. Cry of Pain is going to serve as a Rapt, but also as additional AoE damage and the generation skill. Remember that it deals damage only if the target you are using it on has already been hexed. EoE will help you finish off enemies that are not actively taking damage at the time, but are below 90% HP. Empathy will help you with killing skellies and single targets. Ebon Escape will help you move around and heal yourself and your allies. By using the Lunar Bar, you deal more damage with your domination skills and also have more energy regeneration. Although it's definitely not necessary, I highly recommend it if you can afford it. When it comes to weapons, I'll be using only one weapon set, and there it is. Because of such a short cooldown and cast time of wastrels, instead of having a 40-40 set like most Mesmer Spikers do, you'll be using this. Thanks to fast casting, you're able to use wastrels on recharge one after another, and you don't need it to be even quicker. Another advantage of it is that by using a spear with enchanting mod, your Lysses as long as Visage will last 20% longer, which is a huge benefit. Your offhand is going to be Master of My Domain inscription for the chance of getting a stronger domination spell off, and a Core of Aptitude for the lack of a better one. Let's check out the armor. As you can see, you will be using two headpieces. Let me explain why. In order to get the most regeneration out of Lys's Aura, you want to use it with the Inspiration headpiece. That way, you will have 4 additional points into said attribute, boosting the skill effect significantly. Here's the skill progression chart. Let's see how much of a difference a headpiece can make. Without the headpiece, and with. The rest of your armor should consist of a +3 fast casting rune on whichever part, and everything else should be energy. As you might have noticed, my headpieces have blessed insignias instead. That is because I also use them as LT and T4, and I think one energy doesn't make enough of a difference for me to have separate ones for each role. Let's talk about some of the mechanics that will improve the quality of your gameplay. The most universal one is animation cancelling. You can use it literally anywhere, both in PvP and PvE. Even though the skill has finished being casted and already have gone on cooldown, your character is still finishing performing the animation. If you switch an armor piece or a weapon set before the animation has finished completely, you will experience somewhat of a lag, making you unable to perform the next action smoothly. Here's an example. I'm using Battle Standard of Honor, and then before the animation has finished, I'm trying to switch my weapon set and use Staggering Force. Not only I'm not able to use my skills, but also the weapon switch can get cancelled completely if you use the skill too soon. Compare it to this clip of me performing the animation cancel mechanic. Now that you know what I'm talking about, there's 2 ways of doing that. The first one that we are going to look at is a simple command move. Think of it as an automatic transmission. By pressing any movement key, not strafe, when the skill has almost finished being casted, the cancelling is automatically queued in right after the animation ends, and you start walking freely, allowing you to perform the next action smoothly. Here's how it looks like. This method is slightly slower than the one I'm about to present to you, but also it requires you to change your position, therefore it's mostly used only while running. If you are trying to change your armor piece while constantly auto-attacking, you will also experience the lag. Even though there is a very small window to perform it normally, it's really hard to hit it while not fully concentrated on your character. With a lot of things happening around you, this method is far from ideal, and you'll most likely won't be able to do that consistently. That's when the second way comes in handy. By pressing escape button after the animation has been fully finished, you're able to change the next action right after that. Although it requires you to use it at the right time, you'll find it more precise and eventually get used to it. Let's take a closer look at what's happening in this clip. By pressing escape every time after performing an action, I'm able to switch headpieces swiftly and gain the benefit of both attribute boosts without experiencing the lag. Auto-attack animation ends. I press escape to cancel that animation, switch the headpiece, use whirling, switch the headpiece back, and command attack. If you play with a bunch of windows opened like I do, such as inventory or a mission map, in the default settings, Guild Wars will close any opened window upon pressing escape first. In order to turn that off, go to General Options and tick Do Not Close Windows when I press escape. To sum this up, let's compare the differences between performing action with animation cancelling and without it on a Mesmer Spiker. This mechanic definitely takes some practice to master and to understand how to use it properly, but using it will definitely improve your performance in speed clears in general by a lot. The next mechanic we are going to look at is targeting. Something as trivial as targeting an enemy you want to interact with might not seem worth making a whole section about it, but there's one particularly interesting thing you can do to improve your gameplay. In the default Guild Wars settings, when you press the key C on your keyboard, you'll target the closest enemy. When you press Tab, you'll target the second closest enemy. If you do that again, it will target the next one, and so on and so on. The cycle will continue in the same order that you have established previously, even though the closest target might not be the same anymore. A new order is being created and replaces the previous one every time you select a new target by only pressing C again. If you click on a new target, you can still come back to the initial cycle by pressing Tab. Combining that with the ability to call, you can ping yourself the precise target from your cycle that you will want to come back to, and interact with something else before it expires or gets overwritten by somebody else. By pressing Tab while holding Shift, you go backwards through the cycle. Maybe a bit more practical example will make it clear. Let's say I want to spike a 60 and an 80 armor practice dummy, but before that I have to interact with some other target. I order them in cycle one after another, and I call the target. Next, I interact with something else, and I come back to the dummies in the order that I chosen previously, even though my position has changed. This can be very useful when you have to target only 2 specific enemies out of the whole group. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the explanation of the role. I recommend starting the run with your Inspiration headpiece, since Lys's Aura usually will be the first Mesmer skill that you will be casting during a run. It will save you some time and effort changing it back and forth. At the beginning of the run, watch out for any nightmares that spawn on the edges of the stairs. You will have to kill them and wrap their rends if they spawn. If there is none, you can move back with the rest of the team and target the Ritualist. Wait until he starts casting QZ, that will be a sign for you to put your EOE down in this spot. After you start casting it, target the closest ally and EE up the stairs. Cast Lys's Aura. Change your headpiece to the Domination one and select the LT on your party list. Wait for the ball to be made and cast Visage on him when it's settled down. Use each wastrel set on a different ATAX. That way every hex is being triggered separately instead of starting again on the same target. After the third set, use Cry of Pain to finish the ball off. If there are any nightmares left on your way to lab, kill them and wrap their rends if they are trying to use it. Try to break aggro of the skelly on the left by EEing forward and running away from him. If it doesn't work, kill both skellies by putting empathy on them and using Cry of Pain. When they are almost dead, you can start casting AoE in this spot. That way it will reach the escort ball as well, and you won't have to use it again. Precast Lys's Aura with the right headpiece when you see the LT running towards you. Change it back to the Domination one. Put Visage on him when he's in the spot, and spike the ball the same way as in Chamber. 3 sets of wastrels, each on a different target, and get Cry of Pain. Once you did that, you can move on to killing the Terrorwebs. After the Reaper is popped, take the Restore the Monument quest and check the instance timer. If it's somewhere around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you should wait and kill the Back Patrol first before starting Escort. Back Patrol is a group of Graspings and possibly a Nightmare that gets triggered by the T2 when he's running to mountains. The patrol does a loop around Lab and then glitches itself on a wall. If you manage to pop Lab quicker than that, there is nothing to worry about. Although it really should be Ritualist's job to take the quests, many people aren't used to that and will tell you to take the quests. As the bigger man, you will accommodate for their lack of knowledge. Take the escort quest when the LT is ready. If you are playing with an experienced team, you can take the quest right away, unless they tell you otherwise. While you are running towards the stairs, perform the targeting trick by pressing C and Tab to select both apexes and save the cycle by pinging one of them. Here is how to drain them efficiently. If the LT is already standing ready for the pull-through, you can use Visage on him right away. That way, the apexes are getting drained while he's still tanking them and waiting for the Ritualist to go down. Feel free to use Lys's aura before that and prolong it just by putting a single hex on one of the enemies so it doesn't run out. Come back to the previously pinged target and start spiking only when the SOS is already blocking the aggro. If your wastrels are getting cancelled out by the bladeds using skills, reapply Visage on the LT and continue. After the ball is dead, kill the Skelly and finish off targets if there are any by putting empathy on them and auto-attacking with honor. Wait for the LT to pull all the Mind Blades away from your path up the stairs. Find the two bladeds in the ball by tabbing through all the enemies and ping yourself one of them. When you have enough space, put EOE so it reaches the beginning of the bridge and repeat what has been done before. Use Lys's aura with the right headpiece and put Visage on the LT as soon as he's standing still in the spot ready to pull through. Start spiking as soon as you see the ball gaining shape. If you start spiking early and the pull through doesn't work properly, you'll be left with some Mind Blades, which you will have to kill with the help of the Ritualist, just like I did in the run. When entering Vale, prepare to erupt any nightmares that pop up on your way behind the house. Every Skelly requires an empathy in order to die quickly. Use it as soon as they stop running and start attacking you actively. Generally, wastrels aren't great at killing Skellies due to them spamming their skills very often. However, there's a way to make them work. By following the pattern on which the Skellies are using their skills, you can find a window where they don't use anything. You have to start with Wastrel's Worry and use it instantly after the Bone Spike following a flurry, just like shown in the video. Use that information and apply it here. Move sideways so they don't stop attacking you and grab the last Skelly patrolling from the monument. After he is almost dead, you can put EOE somewhere in this area just so it reaches the top side of Vale. When the LT has right wall blocked everything, you can put Visage on him and start spiking. 3 sets of Wastrels and then Cry of Pain. Right after that, move on to the Terrorwebs. Try to rapt some of their skills if they are balled up. If there's a single Terrorweb standing out, don't rapt his skills because the Ritualist will PI him, which will kill him more effectively. When the Terrorwebs are dead, run towards this area and prepare for the quest. Tortured spirits have a natural effect making all the hexes casted on them last half the usual time. That's surprisingly convenient since Wastrel's Worry will trigger much sooner, making it a very effective tool to deal with them. On the other hand, Wastrel's Demise deals much less damage, making it not worth using for the most part. The first wave of spirits from this group is attacking as normal, and every other wave following that is glitched and will just wander around posing no threat. If you are fast on escort, after you kill the first wave of spirits, you should go update the new souls by simply running into their compass range. After that, move on to the group that Emo is tanking for you and spike them. Use Cry of Pain once in a while to add some more damage. Once this group is dead, the Ritualist will be pulling the 6 souls from the center area into the garden. While he's doing that, damage the glitchy souls so they are under 90% HP and get spiked by the EOE when you kill the garden pool. Recast EOE somewhere around as shown in the video. You can use Ghosts in the Box for additional damage from EOE. After you successfully finish the quest, run to the basement and kill the Keeper. If there are Vengefulls coming your way, wait for them to patrol back. If not, empathy the Keeper and Wayshells him to death. You can rapt his second skill, making your Wayshell trigger sooner. That would be it for this guide. I wanted to make a shout out to my boy Ollie. He's the creator of my new logo as well as the intro, which I absolutely love. He's an amazing graphic designer and an even better friend. Big thanks to him. And thank you for watching. Make sure to leave some feedback about the video. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments or by PMing me in game. See ya in the next one.